The Meg is the latest shark movie, and it's based off a 1997 book titled Meg, a novel of dark terror. But the real question here, where does it fall between Jaws and Sharknado? So let's talk about it. In The Meg, Jason Statham plays a disgraced underwater rescue diver who's pulled out of retirement when a scientific mission to the deepest part of the ocean discovers an unknown creature. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Sean Chandler, and I started this channel because I was driving everyone around me crazy talking about movies way too much. If you can relate to that, you just might be in the right place. I actually had the privilege of watching The Meg out on a lake in an inner tube. It's one of the coolest ways I have ever watched a movie, but it also might have biased my experience watching this movie, so I wanted to disclose that with you before I started talking about it in general. Also, stick around to the end of this video. I'll share some of the footage from the event itself. Be sure to share your thoughts on the movie in the comment section, and let's get started talking about the good. Probably the best thing about this movie is that it knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows that it's kind of a silly movie about essentially a dinosaur shark being freed and eating people. And in that, it gives you lots of fun scenarios with the shark and all the things that you can do with that. But while it knows what it is and doesn't take itself too seriously, it has a good bit more plot than you'd expect, especially in the first half of the film. There's a lot of logic to what's happening, and it tries to actually give some plausibility, not just going full Sharknado in stupidity. The story's set up to give you the shark moments, the characters that can throw quips at you, and the heroic moments as well. And a big part of what gives the movie its fun is the enjoyable cast. You of course have Jason Statham as our heroic lead. He's just playing Jason Statham, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. It's got Rainn Wilson playing a quirky and quippy billionaire in there. You've also got the actor who played Hiro Nakamura on Heroes showing up in it, which made me go, I wonder what he's been up to the last 10 years. There's just a lot of fun actors that just bring a nice flavor to each of the scenes that they're in. There's also a number of relationships in the film that work pretty well. In particular, Jason Statham has a bit of a romance with one of the characters in the movie, but it's not overplayed and has a little bit of nuance to it. And there's a child actor in the film that's not annoying. That's a nice addition. From there, let's move on to the mixed aspects of this film. And the big one that comes to mind is that it's not rated R. And the positive on that is that more people can go and see it. My sister actually texted me and asked if her 13-year-old sons can go see it. Absolutely, they can go see it, and I'm sure they will absolutely love it. On the negative side, for me personally, I would have much preferred if it was a much more violent movie. It feels very much like they nerfed down a bunch of the violence, and the end result is a movie that doesn't have a lot of bite. Another mixed aspect of the film is the humor. There's some great little winks at the audience, a nice little reference to Finding Nemo at one point in time, and just the fact that they're trying humor adds a certain likability to the film, but a lot of the jokes themselves fall pretty flat. From there, let's move on to the bad. Earlier, I mentioned that the movie starts out pretty plot heavy. Well, about halfway through the movie, it just turns into a series of setups for shark sequences that are all predicated on the fact that people make absolutely ludicrous decisions. Also, the movie relies pretty heavily on multiple tropes of the shark movie subgenre, stuff that goes all the way back to Jaws. I mean, it's a very different movie from Jaws, but there's multiple plot points, character decisions that go all the way back to the Jaws movies. Another thing is that Ruby Rose feels very miscast in this film. She's a lot like Jason Statham in that she essentially just plays herself in everything, but unlike Jason Statham, his persona fits his role in this film. Ruby Rose is playing an engineer, and so that doesn't mesh well with her usual persona, so it seems very out of place in this film. And one final thing, as I was watching the movie, I stopped to think to myself, I bet that this was produced by or for the Chinese market, and then when I got home, I looked it up, and it was produced by and for the Chinese market. And that's not really a good thing when you're watching a movie and noticing plot points that were added in to appeal to a specific market. That pulls me out of the movie. So you're left with a very watchable shark movie, but at the same time, it's not quite violent enough or funny enough or silly enough to make a big impact. It's kind of like a bowl of vanilla ice cream. It's enjoyable, but it's not very interesting. Before I give you my score for the movie, be sure to tell me what you thought about it down below in the comment section. Tell me what you loved, what you hated, and everything in between. As for me with this movie, I'm going to give it my most overused rating of the year 2018. I'm going to go with a B- on the quality level and a 7 out of 10 on the entertainment meter. If you love shark movies, be sure to check out my recently posted ranking of the Jaws movies. Also, if you want to see my full adventure of watching this movie on the lake, check out that video to the left from my second channel. And as always, thank Thank you so much for watching.